What is the secret to believing you're worthy of wealth?
Mm. Man, what's the secret? I think it's knowing to understand that you're truly worthy of wealth. You have to really understand what has impacted your mindset around wealth. And I know you have this potentially in some future questions, but I talk about money influencers because you won't believe you're worthy of wealth
Mm-hmm.
because what you've heard, what you have learned, or what you have experienced around money. Those three money influencers started very young for you, young for me, and they shape our beliefs around money. How many of us have gone to church and felt like, oh, well, I'm supposed to sell all my possessions and be a missionary? That's the way to God's heart. That's the way to a prosperous life, is to give up everything. Well, for some people, that's the calling on their life, but everybody has a different calling. Some people are called to missionaries, some people are called to the marketplace. And so I'm sure many of us have grown up with sayings like, money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard for money. Wealthy people are greedy. Don't be greedy. Money is evil. That's probably the number one misinterpreted scripture I've heard constantly about money, is that money is the root of all evil. The actual verse is, for the love
Mm-hmm.
of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And so it comes back to
Mm-hmm.
your heart and your posture and greed. And so money is just a tool. Money is not, it's amoral. It doesn't have feelings. It's not good. It's not bad. It's simply a resource that we have, and we can use it just like a knife. I can use a knife to cut up a salad, or I can use it to stab someone. How I use the tool changes. Um, you know, it doesn't change the tool. The knife is a knife. It's how I use it and what my intention behind using that tool is. So that's how I feel about money as well. Um, so those things that we heard constantly from our parents, and maybe your parents had some different sayings, that they said all the time, or maybe you always heard your mom be like, I got this on sale. I got this on sale. I got this on sale, well, it was 50% off, well, why does she need to justify that so much, right? That's a
Mm-hmm.
money story for her somewhere, where she doesn't feel worthy of full price, or she feels
Mm-hmm.
bad for spending money. So therefore she has to justify the purchase. I mean, that's the whole movement around buy the damn coffee. Why I named my book that was, it's a movement away from the shame and the guilt of this coffee theory that, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's the coffee that's keeping you broke. Said literally no successful top 1% person ever in any interview. Literally, there's so many great interview shows you could listen to. Not one of them is like, what got me here? I cut out the $5 latte. So, what you heard, what you learned, what you experienced. Did you go through a divorce? Did you go through a death? Have you lost a job? Have you come from poverty? Have you come from hard situations? Those things will shape your behaviors, your beliefs, and your thinking around money. So when you think about, like, where did it stem from? Why do I not feel worthy of wealth? You have to identify where it came from. When you identify where it came from, then you can start rewriting the story. Then you can start asking yourself, well, is this actually true, or is this just something I've grown up believing? Oh my gosh, I've worked with so many people. I've spoken on stages that people are like, I spoke at an event the couple months ago, and there were two brothers in the same conference. One brother grew up with the rich dad, where they had money, but
Mm-hmm.
then the dad lost the wealth. The second brother grew up with the poor, stingy dad. They had totally different experiences and relationship with money, simply based on where they were and their circumstances in the same house. And I was like, this is cool. So, like, we worked through that and some of the resentment, or some of the different things that they believed about money based on the experience, the event. So I really think you have to understand that before you can accept that you're worthy. Like, you should just know you're worthy. Like, God's not like, hey, you're worthy of everything I offer except for money. Except for
Right.
money. Like, no. God transforms all areas of our life, including our money. So that is already innately there for us to tap into, to test our heart and our stewardship. It's the only thing he says test him in. And I think there's something unique about that, because you have to work through a lot of baggage with money. You have to work through a lot of baggage, and at multiple levels. When you get money, when you become, financially free, you got to work through those same beliefs through different levels of your finances too. It doesn't just go away. But then you can recognize them and pivot faster and know, like, is this a limited belief I have around money, or is this actually like true?
Thanks for checking out the Profitable Christian Business Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and share.